My grandmother did not age gracefully. She was the kind of person that could reach for the remote and in one shot twist her colon, bruise her rib, get 3 cavities, and break her little old lady helmet hairdo. All to find out that Judge Judy wasn't on anyone. So, Grandma was always at the hospital. She was always at Cedars-Sinai. You know, they just kept a room ready for her. We'd check her out. The nurses would say, "See you soon." So one day I'm wrapping up teaching somewhere. I don't even remember where. And I get the call. Grandma's at Cedars. So I drop everything, of course, and I run over there, and I get to her floor, and I go to the nurse's station, and I find the doctor. And I have a little conversation with the doctor. And what I learn is that Grandma's okay. She's fine. There's nothing wrong. She had a little allergic reaction to her medication, and that's it. But she's okay. So armed with this information, I go to her room. Carol's already there. It's a deathbed scene out of a Tolstoy novel. Carol's by the side of the bed, stroking her hands. My grandmother is writhing in agony. 3 priests and a rabbi are reading her last rites. There's a lawyer in the corner updating her will. She looks up and she sees me. "Stephen, thank God you're here. I've been fighting the Grim Reaper all night." "Grandma, what the hell are you talking about?" "The doctor says you're in better health than he is." "I am?" "Grandma, you are not dying." "I'm not?" "Well, I can't check out until after lunch tomorrow. We're having Jell-O." Great, huh? $500 Medicare Jell-O. But her weakness was food. It was unbelievable. You know, she had this technique. I've never seen anyone match it. You're out to dinner with her. As the waiter is putting the plates on the table, they're still in the air, you know. She's managed to get her fork into everyone for a taste. She wondered, you know, why her dogs always died. Well, they died because they ate the same crap she did. Grandma, collies are not supposed to eat pickled herring. That's not a joke. Although they can have chopped liver. It's okay, it's all right. So, when Grandma was diagnosed with senior onset diabetes, she was having none of this dieting business. One night, Carol and I took her out to dinner. She wanted to go to Acapulco's. So we went to Acapulco's. And, and so my diabetic grandma plows through, you know, chips, salsa, guacamole, rice, beans, enchiladas. The waiter comes over. "May I interest you in dessert?" As Carol and I are saying, "Oh, no, thank you," my grandmother is saying, "Well, if it was here, I wouldn't waste it." So the guy brings to the table this thing. It's a cookie, like a chocolate chip cookie, about that big, you know, like a pizza. And it's got, you know, ice cream, fudge, and whipped cream, and nuts, and it's even got a little cherry on top, you know, because food is good for you. And my diabetic grandmother picks up a fork and she starts attacking this dessert. As we say, she's cupping it up, right? Shoving it in. And I'm looking at her. And Carol is looking at me, you know, so finally I say, Hey, Grandma, maybe you ought to think about not eating any more of that. And she shoots me this, I'm 80 and I can do whatever the hell I want. Right? So now I'm getting pissed. Because who's going to have to back cleanup on her behavior? Right? Me. So to the shock of my wife, I lean across the table, I look right at my grandmother and I say, I got 2 words for you. Diabetic coma. Not on my watch. And I yank the plate. Her response? Thank you. Her response? You're right, darling. I'll take it to go. Hey, Aaron's here, everybody. Carol and I still talk about this story. We talk about the story for several reasons. One reason is that Carol comes from a very uptight, restrained, repressed, Western Catholic upbringing, and she couldn't believe that anyone would speak to their grandmother like that. Carol's family, her mom didn't breastfeed, she just shook hands. Someone here is a fan of handshaking, or? The other reason why Carol and I talk about this is that this version of getting old, the way my family does it, it's very, very exotic to Carol. In my family, when you get old, you go to the doctor. And in Carol's family, when you get old, you go to the garden. And that's sort of a thumbnail sketch of the difference between Jews and Catholics, I guess.